picture that you see on this thumbnail is two men that will be exonerated, and they will sue the government, the United States government, for being incarcerated and their time being taken from them. Now, I ain't got time to act like I know how to talk at everybody's kitchen table. But this is an example of where the rubber meets the road. This is where the explanation lies. You want people to show empathy. You're not understanding the view. You're only taking it from your point of view. Where if you celebrate in someone's life that was an open-ended individual, he allowed his excuse, make it clear. His excuse to every adverse circumstance is, I let them talk and they are still mad. That is something that I learned in life with communication, with people that are biased. It has nothing to do with racism. If you're taught something, you are taught to believe it. You believe in God, you believe in all types of things that are offensive to other people if they don't like it, and that's their choice. But these two men right here are an example why people like Charleston didn't give you this example. What Charleston did was he put the analogies and the tropes together that we are so familiar and comfortable with every day. What we're used to hearing as a people every day. So when you get an elder that can use the same peanut butter and jelly sandwiches that you grew up on, you have pilots that can accept those remarks. But the other individual side that is dealing with the retribution or the response from the other group, they can't take it. They can't take it because they do not educate their children of the past transgression. So your past makes your presence will create your future. So when your past is always overshadowed by talking points, an influencer was a rebel riser back in the day. So the new name is Rebel Riser, but it's really called influencer. Rebel Riser was somebody that will rebel against something and make it flammable so it can rise to the temperature where people will take that information and use it as a weapon. So now the media, the world of internet has taken an advantage of something that they want to remove. They want to remove the moderator. By removing the moderator, you allow people to say things when and how, the way they want to say it. That can cause you to lose your job, lose your reputation, lose contracts, lose people that had trust in you, believing in your way you carry yourself. But these two men didn't get that option. They were persecuted by judge and jury, the media. The media at that time was the only person that can highlight their guiltiness or their innocence. What the media did was they were politically biased. At that time, you could use color as a token to get somebody incarcerated. I'm going to say that again. In that time, you could use someone's color to manipulate the masses to think that's the criminal. That was the perpetrator. That was the individual that did that heinous crime. In that picture, that represents the time. It was in black and white. There wasn't no social media. There wasn't no one but a moderator. You see, the moderator at that time was the owners of the information. So if the media had to put out some information, what they did was they put it out there by what the media was allowed to put out there because of the moderator. The moderator could have been the editorial people that are aligned with the institute that allows them to put out that information, but it was controlled information. That information was controlled. How we know that information was controlled? Because the media now is telling you anything you post on the internet despairing about Mr. Charlie will be confiscated and used against you. Now your freedom of speech is now being violated. It's only being violated because no one has ever been through this type of trauma before with social media. But if you use these two men and you went to the black community and you said Malcolm X was killed. Yes, Malcolm X was killed. And you asked the population, not the majority, how they felt about being lied to. The majority can't sympathize that story. The majority can't concentrate long enough to get in their head. We seen this shit before. So you're pouring water on somebody that's been hurt, traumatized. Boom, right back at you. Now, you want somebody to regurgitate empathy when we at the kitchen table trying to explain that our own kind didn't kill that man. You're not getting it. You're saying gun violence is one thing, but then you're using gun violence to predicate another thing. It's almost as if you want me to believe a lie. I can't consume a lie when the lie starts with my own heritage. My last name is Harrington. How in the world am I Irish when I am darker than charcoal? And if I am Irish, the Rooneys owe me some money. The Rooneys that own the Pittsburgh Steelers actually have season tickets. Because I don't want reparation from Anderson Cooper, even though he's a Vanderbilt. I want the Vanderbilts to give me reparation, because it wouldn't have been no Anderson Cooper. There wouldn't be no Anderson Cooper recreating a little boy with another man if it wasn't for the Vanderbilts. I don't want my reparation from Yens. I want it from Cranberry, people like Carnegie, Hines, people like that whose name is part of the oxymoron legacy. See, an oxymoron goes like this. You want some shrimp? You want some jumbo shrimp? Yeah, I want some jumbo shrimp. I got some shrimp right here. I'm going to call this shit jumbo today, because I got these little ones over here, and they bigger than these ones. So the only way I'm going to sell these for a higher price is if I call these jumbo and small. So I don't want your reparation. So when they arguing with you, integration isn't to delegitimize the opportunity. Integration shows the prosperity in giving the opportunity. So when they stand up there and they are sensationalizing and they're exasperating you by cheering on the admin fallacy, which is an insult, you are supposed to be already knowing that the insult is in the training. You were taught training. You were trained to know you were going to be insulted. You knew this already. So why would you get on the internet and spew negativity when you know they don't mean no harm? It be a handful that mess up the bunch. Because you wouldn't have a 1964 revolution if it wasn't for the white folk. They knew something was wrong. They met bad people before. They ain't stupid. Why do you think they made a movie called The Schindler's List and everybody had to watch it? Not just Jewish people, not just white people, not just black people, and not hurt black people to see what they did to them when we like what they do so wrong. What did they do? And you have to understand, as soon as they gave us that tool, we protected those kids. What you mean, dog? What you trying to hurt them kids for? Them is kids. So now when you grow up as an adult, remembering, hold up, we pledge allegiance to our flag. We have respect for this country. You ain't putting us in the same group. You taught these young kids that social media influencing is more sustainable than this fucking learning how to be a human. I gotta get a like button. I don't need a damn like button. I need a job. I need opportunity. I need to start working at McDonald's first so I can learn how to count a till, so I can go work at motherfucking Lids, so I can run and be a store manager, so one day I can be the manager at Foot Locker and then become the regional manager at Lids after I got the experience from Foot Locker. I just went back to where I was because I gained more experience and they knew of me. What are you saying? Why are you letting Charleston? Think about it. If Charleston was such a great person, and he was doing such great things, why isn't he wearing Brooks Brothers suits? Why isn't he putting the time in to make these young black men professionals? Why is he attacking the young men who that's all they know, gold chain, tell their story and persevere and move over obstacles, help their mama, help their grandparents? Why is you attacking them? Because that was the information that he was given to give his opportunity. See, my opportunity wasn't given that way. They didn't give me my opportunity to come and confuse you and conflict the story and to conflate it. No, they didn't give me that opportunity. They gave me the opportunity to be myself. And myself is to present you those two men. So when they ask you, why did you say what you said? You just forgot your training. Your training has made you cold because they made you cold. You forgot the training. So you get on the internet and spew some dumb shit. For what? That man passed away. God bless his soul. You don't add fuel to the fire. You understand what happened during the watch rides. You understand what happened to Mr. Floyd Ferguson. You understand Mike Brown. You understand why Dunn didn't go to prison forever because the kid was playing loud music. You understand the training. So you're supposed to be more gentle with the masses because they're supposed to be in awe that you understand the trade. Like, damn, Martin Luther King was right. There's a few you niggas around here. Yes, sir. You wasn't allowed to say nigga around me or nigger around me. So y'all both wrong. Don't say both. Both of y'all wrong. Both of you motherfuckers is wrong. Can't blame me. I'm just the messenger. But if you're not getting the message, I got to say it. Because you might not have known that the men that they accused of killing Malcolm X, they ain't not in jail no more. They not the victims no more. They not the criminal no more. So the identity of the person who killed them, hey, I don't want to get into politics. Because they always told me why I can't fit in is I'm too political. Well, guess what? All you people with one PA, all you people with all these different attributes working with the mayor, wasn't that Ed Faney, Ed Loss? Yeah, Ed Loser, because he ain't want to work with the community. See, it's funny he don't want to work with the community, but as soon as I put my application with people that are different color skin tone as me, they say that I'm a very intelligent individual and they're glad they're doing business with me. So you wasted your energy trying to go against your own people that you lost your vote. Not only did you lose the vote, but you lost integrity. Because I don't care if you're standing next to a 70-year-old lady that's going to help build an old folk home. You know why? I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why. That was a promise he made 4 years ago. So you get in office, you got to make deals with all these people. So you want to stay relevant for the next opportunity, so you just making sure you take care of them people down the road. But you're not doing nothing different than the last person that got an opportunity. See, the difference between Trump and Biden is this. He gave Le'Veon Bell the microphone when y'all know he should have never gave them the microphone. He gave Chef and them from New York the microphone when you know he should have never gave them the microphone. Same thing Charlie did. He gave you the microphone when you know he shouldn't have gave you the microphone. And you appreciated it. You welcomed it. You fantasized about it and you became a member of it. So you agreed to the terms. Can't turn back now. Can't say, I wish I could change that. When you make a decision, you're supposed to stand on that decision, right? That's why you idolizing these influencers. These influencers are able to tell you one thing and then go back on their word and you still say it's okay. But Malcolm X and Martin Luther King didn't get a second chance to go back on their word. They stood on business and they got assassinated. And they raised generation after generation that we would believe we can have a dream and live amongst the same people and integrate in the same religion that they used to abuse us with and tamper with our minds with. And you want us to show empathy with the same training you gave us. You have to ask yourself, when does the cycle have to change for the process to get better? Because you trained this intellectual to remember my roots, my education, my purpose, and my cause. But you gave me a surname to conflate my actual meaning. So if we're not going to give Charlie Kirk respect, then we're not respecting the game at all. That's free game. Because his access to him, if he wasn't accessible, then he doesn't glorify the word influencer. See, he's an influencer now because he influenced the masses to recognize dialogue. So not only has he created an unwelcome vacuum, but this vacuum now creates the conversation that we all must have and need to have. Those two black men in that picture were part of conspiracy theory. They were part of a conspiracy. Remember that. I'm 40 years old. That happened probably 2 years before I was even born. 79, I think he got killed. So you have to tell your next generation that we had to live a life for 40 years to get the truth. So unfortunately, that Marine that lost his job because he did the dumbest shit you could do on earth is celebrate somebody's death. Because you disciplined. You deserve it. Clapping for you. You know the training. You know the conditions we in. You in the military. You know the conditions we in. You know the training. I'm going to say it again. You know the training. You was taught that. That's the only reason you enrolled. The only reason your black ass enrolled in the military is because you were conditioned to remember the benefits, the lifestyle, the legacy, the heritage of joining the armed service as a black man. That's the only reason you joined the service, because that gives you the ability to help the next generation of your family move on. That last name on that badge is everything, because when your son goes and joins, there's going to be a sergeant or a captain that remembers the effort you put in. That's all rank is about, baby. So I couldn't make tape. Breaks my heart every time I see a soldier get discredited, because if that's me, I show you what PT fucking SD is. Oh, I would have been the first one licensed to be stupid, but they seen it, they knew it. He's serious about being an American. I am dead ass serious. Martin Luther King made my dream perfect. I don't play with no police. I don't play with lawyers. I don't play with judges. They said we got the freedom of speech. Well, we gonna firebrand this thing. So I ain't mad at Charlie. I'm mad at Charleston. I'm mad at the Marine. I'm mad at anybody that lost their job and act like they somebody with a good job if you don't remember the training. How is you saying you's a black African-American adult, a successful adult, and you don't remember the training?